In the previous chapter, we saw Zhuo Yifan push himself to the brink, unleashing a terrifying move, the Necro Dragon's Screech. Despite his injuries and the thunder flame consuming him, he summoned a thunder serpent, its overwhelming power, striking fear even in Yelin. Yelin's desperate golden flames rose in defense, but the serpent's strength seemed unstoppable. Let's begin the chapter. The small black thunder flames struck like lightning, piercing through the air with deadly precision. It entered Yelin's golden flames, colliding in an instant and dissipating into nothingness. Yet, like an unyielding predator, it pushed forward, hurtling straight toward Yelin. What? Yelin thought, panic rising within him. A mere thunder flame! This strong? He squinted, his eyes narrowing as he began to grasp the true power of this flame. A cold dread gripped him. The tiny black thunder flame, so deceptively small, was far more terrifying than it appeared. Sweat dripped from his brow as he stumbled back, the overwhelming sense of danger sinking into his very soul. With frantic hands, Yelin formed a series of intricate signs, igniting his soul to its peak. His golden flames flared up, forming a dazzling, almost blinding barrier around him. But the cost of such an effort left him pale and visibly drained. Yelin's pride in his golden flames was absolute. He knew their power intimately, enough to realize that even they might not be enough. His body trembled involuntarily, his teeth clenched as his mind wrestled with the reality before him. From a distance, Wu Qingqiu observed the scene, his heart sinking. It was the first time he had ever seen his proud and fearless junior brother so consumed by fear. Even exalted Bai Mei was stunned, his usually calm demeanor cracking as disbelief set in. He watched as Yelin's golden flames, born from the very essence of his soul, were brushed aside like mere kindling. It defied all logic. The black thunder flame should not have been capable of such devastation, not against something as powerful as Yelin's flames. Thank the heavens that old man is stepping in, Bai Mei thought grimly. Otherwise Yelin might be finished. All around, the audience sat in stunned silence, mouths agape. Zhuo Yifan's counterattack was more than just a turning of the tides. It was a masterstroke, a devastating blow that left no room for recovery. Even Wen Tao, ever calm and calculating, found himself shaken. "So this is what you meant, Tianshang," he muttered to his companion. "Brother Zhuo isn't someone to take lightly. I never imagined angering him would unleash something like that." Yelin must be feeling it now, knowing that even after burning his very soul, his attack amounted to nothing. Xie Tianshang nodded solemnly. Zhuo Yifan. His tricks are endless. No one ever knows what his final ace is until it's too late. That's what makes him terrifying. Facing him in battle is like staring into the abyss. Yelin stood at the center of it all, his resolve unwavering but his body betraying the strain of his efforts. Despite his devotion to his path, he now faced an opponent whose ingenuity and resourcefulness far exceeded anything he had ever encountered. A sharp whoosh pierced the tense silence as the black thunder flame continued its relentless approach, the very air around it crackling and splitting apart. Zhuo Yifan watched with a calm, almost smug expression, while the crowd collectively held its breath. Even exalted Bai Mei, usually composed, was visibly uneasy. "What's taking him so long?" Bai Mei thought anxiously, glancing toward the horizon, but no one felt the weight of the moment more than Yelin himself. His hands trembled as he formed yet another series of signs, his golden flames burning brighter than ever. Everything he had, all his power and will, was now poured into his defense. His pale face and labored breaths betrayed the toll it had taken. Yet even so, a nagging certainty remained in the back of his mind. It might not be enough. The final clash was imminent, Both sides had given everything they had, and the outcome now rested in the hands of fate. The black thunder flame struck Yelin's barrier with an explosive force, golden flames erupting like a volcano. The audience tensed, watching in silence as the deadly flame pressed on. Zhuo Fan's gaze flickered briefly to Chao, who lay unconscious beside him. His expression darkened as he braced for the finale. A deafening bam shattered the tension. The impact obliterated Yelin's golden flames, sending him staggering backward. He coughed violently, blood spraying from his lips, yet his fearful eyes never left the black thunder flame, which now twisted and coiled like a venomous snake. "Ready to strike! This is it!" Yelin thought, despair sinking in. "I'm done for!" "Junior brother." Wu Qingqiu's desperate cry rang out, but he could do nothing to help. The crowd watched with bated breath, some too stunned to even react. Only Zhuo Fan appeared unperturbed, his smirk widening. His voice, though unspoken, resonated with cold satisfaction. "This is what you get for harming my daughter, you fool!" Then a booming voice shattered the moment. "Seizing Dragon Claw!" Out of nowhere, a faint dragon claw materialized, its immense power halting the thunder flame snake mid-strike. Relief flooded Yelin's face as he gasped for air, the weight of impending death finally lifting. "I'm saved," he thought, weakly, collapsing to his knees. Zhuo Fan's smirk faded, his eyes narrowing as an old figure stepped into view. The crowd erupted in whispers. "Exalted Heiran, what's he doing here?" Heiran's arrival left no doubt. Yelin's life had been spared, but at what cost? Bai Mei exhaled slowly, his tension easing. Thank heavens. If Heiran hadn't arrived, Yelin would have been finished. Zhuo Fan, however, was far from pleased. His voice carried an edge as he addressed the newcomer. "What's the meaning of this, Exalted Heiran? The fight isn't over." Heiran sighed, shaking his head. "It's obvious who the victor is, kid. There's no need to drag this out further." But Zhuo Fan wasn't about to let it go. "Rules are rules, Exalted. Either one side admits defeat, or they're defeated, outright. You, of all people, should know this." Heiran's expression tightened, annoyance flickering across his face. He glanced at Yelin, silently urging him to concede. Yelin, however, remained stubborn. His pride as a sacred beast inheritor wouldn't allow him to admit defeat. His golden flames still flickered faintly around him, his eyes burning with defiance. Heiran sighed again, exasperated by Yelin's obstinance. Before he could act, a sudden explosion rocked the battlefield. The thunder flame snake, though subdued, had not been fully neutralized. A sliver of black energy slipped past Heiran's control and struck Yelin. Lightning surged through his body, followed by violent explosions. Blood sprayed from his mouth as he fell, his voice barely audible. "That thing, it's too much. Even if I gave my life, I couldn't win. Master, I've lost." The crowd froze, their shock mirrored by Heiran himself, whose trembling hand betrayed his unease. "What is that thing?" Heiran thought, his gaze darting toward Zhuo Fan. For the first time, a flicker of fear crossed his face.